If your life looks fine on paper, but you don't actually feel happy, here's the part no one tells you. Doing everything right doesn't automatically create fulfillment. There's a psychological mismatch underneath that feeling, and it has nothing to do with motivation, gratitude, or success. The problem is that you're judging your life by one system while your brain is reacting to a completely different one. Part 1. The mismatch no one explains. Most people judge their life by the obvious things they can point to. Do I have a job? Am I being responsible? Am I making progress? And that way of judging life makes sense. It's visible. It's measurable. It's rewarded. From a young age, we're taught, sometimes directly, sometimes subtly, that these are the things that matter. If you're tired but productive, that's praised. If you're stressed but stable, that's considered normal. If you're unhappy but doing well, people tell you to focus on how lucky you are. So you learn pretty quickly what counts and what doesn't. You learn that discomfort is something to push through, that confusion means you're behind, that if nothing is technically wrong, then the feeling must be your fault. And if you follow those rules, life does get more stable, more predictable, more functional. But what almost no one explains is that your brain isn't keeping score the same way. Your brain doesn't ask, is this impressive? Or does this look good on paper? It asks quieter questions. Do I feel engaged? Do I feel like I have a say in my own life? Does this actually feel like it fits me? Those signals are harder to measure. They don't come with applause. They don't get checked off. So most people learn to ignore them, not because they're unimportant, but because they're inconvenient. And that's how you can do everything right and still feel like something is off. Part 2. Why progress stops feeling good. Here's where this usually starts to happen. When you work towards something, a goal, a promotion, stability, approval, your brain gives you little bursts of motivation and relief. That's what keeps you going. That's what makes effort feel worth it. You tell yourself, once I get there, I'll finally relax. Once this is handled, I'll feel better. But once you reach that thing, your brain doesn't keep rewarding you the same way. It adjusts. What once felt exciting starts to feel normal. What once felt like progress starts to feel expected. So you move the goalpost. You tell yourself, just a little more, just one more step. From the outside, it looks like growth. But on the inside, the emotional payoff keeps shrinking. This is why someone can work for years toward a job they wanted and still feel strangely flat a few months after getting it. It's also why relief never quite arrives the way people expect it to. Not because they chose the wrong goal, but because the brain gets used to progress faster than we think it will. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation, the brain's tendency to normalize improvement and quietly ask for more. If this is already putting words to something you felt but never fully understood, you might want to subscribe. This channel is about explaining the patterns that quietly shape how we think, feel, and live without turning it into motivation talk or quick fixes. Part 3. Why this feeling persists and why you blame yourself. When this mismatch shows up, most people don't question the system. They question themselves. They think, I should be happier than this. Other people would be grateful. Maybe something is wrong with me. That self-blame adds a second layer of pressure. Now you're not just unhappy, you're confused and guilty for being unhappy. So instead of listening to the signal, you try to drown it out. You add more goals, more responsibilities, more productivity, more distraction. You assume the feeling means you're behind, so you try to get ahead faster. But this doesn't fix the problem. It just keeps the system running. And this confusion usually doesn't show up when life is falling apart. It shows up after things stabilize, after the chaos quiets down, after you finally have space to notice how you actually feel. That's not failure. That's awareness catching up. Part 4. Reframing the question. Here's the important thing to understand. This feeling doesn't mean you failed. It doesn't mean you chose the wrong life. And it doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It means the rules you followed were very good at creating stability, but incomplete when it comes to fulfillment. So instead of asking, what's wrong with me? A better question is, what part of me hasn't been included yet? Understanding this doesn't fix everything, but it stops the feeling from being random. And that's usually the moment things finally start to make sense.